We have a question from Logan. Logan, that's where I went to school, Logan, Utah. I recently got together with a strongman team and they urged me to compete. It's nice to have friends, isn't it? This will be my first meet in the novice class, but I'm running into two problems. That's interesting, Logan. You're running into a lot more problems than you know, but it's fun that you think it's just two today. Number one, the meet is about a month away, and that's a problem. We do event days as a team on Sundays. I have a garage gym with barbells and strongman implements alike. What should my training look like for a novice strongman with little more than 4 weeks of prep? Yeah, the number one thing I would do is don't try to get, I wouldn't start Olympic lifting or powerlifting. I would get to the implements as many days as a week I can and do sub-maximal practice on it. So let's we'll just throw out some numbers. Let's say you have a 200 pound Atlas stone you're supposed to pick up. Well, practice your technique with a 60 and 80 and maybe occasionally 100. If you have to do a log press with blank amount of weight, practice with 50 to 70% of that number. Practice, practice, practice. You cannot probably get enough reps. And don't worry about the fact that the weights are light. The body will figure it out. That's, we've had some very interesting discussions this way about training for the Olympic lifts with a much older idea. And we used to call it Hungarian training. I'm not sure why we called it that, where you would have every other week, you wouldn't go over 60% of your best. And then, so like, I'm just spitballing here, but week one, 70%, week two, 60, week three, 80, week four, 60, week five, 85%, week six, 60. And then the next week, do a practice total and just see what happens. It's weird because when you gently nudge the body in the right direction, good things happen. You need practice on that. Practice. You need practice of the techniques. Let's pick up. Second issue. How do you deal with performance anxiety in competition? Yeah, I haven't played sports since my middle school years, but I've done some United States powerlifting meets as an adult. This seems more nerve-wracking. And it's going to be nerve-wracking, Logan, because you've never done it before. I have a whole book on this called Now What? But one of the things I think you need to do is I think you need to practice the situations. So that's why I think doing the implement training would be so good for you. If you have a timed event, I'm just spitballing here, but you have to get 5 Atlas stones up on the thing in a minute. Take 5 submaximal and you have to do it in 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Stress yourself somehow in the training that mimics what's going to happen out there on the field of play. And what you want to do is think about, where was my tension level? One of the things I think about a lot, for example, in Olympic lifting, the snatch is a very low tension and very low arousal. You need some, but it's more like the discus throw. In the clean and jerk, very high tension, very high arousal, much more like the shot put. Not nearly like the deadlift, but yeah, you need more. So I actually practice raising my tension arousal level as I get closer to a meet for the clean and jerk. And I actively practice, shaking out my tension. And one of the ways I deal with, my tension level in meets is with the snatch. Very often my first attempt is my last warm-up. So I take my last warm-up in front of the 3 judges on the platform, and then I jump, and then on my third attempt, I take what I need to either win or break a record or just feel good about myself that day. That's how I deal with my tension level, and I think there's some wisdom to it. I'd like you to get the book, Now What? The author's name is Dan John, and he's a genius. I hope that helps. Read the book, apply some of the ideas. I think the idea of appropriate practice is going to be very helpful for you, Logan. And by the way, I also have a YouTube video on Now What, and it might help you too. Thank you.